Hey guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel for the video today. Guys, today I'm going to show you what I call the half a beat down rig. Now this is the #1 limit getter that you're ever going to find in fishing anytime that you have water visibility over about 2 foot. I don't care, guys, if it's the winter time, spring, summer, or fall. If you use this little technique that I'm going to talk about today, and after I show you the modification, you're going to put a lot of fish in the boat. I'm not saying you're going to catch a bunch of big ones, except if you're smallmouth fishing. This will catch big, giant smallmouth, but it'll get you a good limit of keepers real quick. So we're going to show you that in today's video. And guys, part of the components we're going to be talking about, I'm going to link them in my description of the video. We're going to be using the Ned Rig jig head from Cast King. I'll have the Cast King link in the description to get you some of these Ned heads. And also, guys, if you use that promo code Randy10 when you order these, you get an additional discount on them. And then we're going to be coupling it up with the Zoom beatdown worm. And I'll have the link in the description to the beatdown worm as well if you guys would like to take advantage of that. And also, guys, one quick reminder, we have got, I don't have them here, but we have got only a couple more days left in that big sale on my Solar Bat Series RB2 and RB3 Series sunglasses. 50% off, guys, through the end of July. There's not going to be a bigger sale. If you guys would like to get a pair of those good Solar Bats, I'll have that Solar Bat link in this video description too if you guys would like to get some. So I appreciate that. Okay, one of the things that you have to learn in bass fishing, it's like sometimes you just have to punt. You know, sometimes the techniques that you're fishing just don't produce. I mean, if you fish some traditional bass fishing techniques like crankbaits and worms and shaky heads and all that type of stuff, the top waters, a lot of times the fish just don't want them, especially if the fishing's tough. If you're in a body of water that has a lot of fishing pressure in it, or maybe it's just tough fishing conditions like the wind's not blowing and it's bright and sunny and the water's clear, hard to get a bite, that's when you have to downsize to some of the stuff I'm talking about, what we're going to show you here about the half a beat down rig. So I'm going to show you guys how I set it up, and then we're going to talk about where you want to fish it at. Now this is the Zoom beat down here, guys, but one thing you can do if you don't want to like buy the beat down or something, you can like save some of your Senkos and soft plastic stick baits and just, you know, cut them off short with the tail. You can do that. But the beat down, one of the reasons I like the beat down is it gives me the opportunity to set it up with a lot of different sizes. Now the head I use, guys, is this Strike King Ned Rig head here. You got this like the little mushroom head on it. And if the fish are a little bit more aggressive, let's say for example the fishing is decent, it's not like super tough fishing and you don't have to downsize, that's when I'll use the full size rig with that. And one of the things about this beat down, guys, you got to come in really straight, make sure the worm is straight on the hook and sitting straight on the bait itself. You definitely want it straight with no crooks in it. But this is the full size, 3.5 inch model here. But specifically what I want to talk about is what I call the half a beat down. So what I do is I take the beat down and I'm going to cut the thing right in half, right in the middle there. So it's about a little over 1 inch long. And then take the same Cast King Nid head here and put that sucker on, straighten it out. And guys, you got this little nymph right here. Now the reason this is so good is if you ever watch a lot of shore minnows and if you see bass busting like on the surface in the summertime, a lot of times, this is about the size of the minnow, a little over 1 inch long. And guys, this little half a beat down rig will get you a quick limit almost anywhere you throw it if you got water visibility over about 2 foot. And it's especially good on big smallmouth. This thing, even though it's a little bitty, if you guys fish like those big smallmouth fisheries up north, the Great Lakes, you can catch 25-pound bags on this thing, but you can catch good limits of spotted bass, largemouth, and smallmouth on about any impoundment across the lake. But the thing about this is like, when you got this thing on the bottom, when it's hopping on the bottom like that, it's not a big commitment for the fish to look at it, to eat it. They'll swim down there and they'll say, oh, that's just a little tidbit, I'm gonna suck it in. Whereas if you got like a big honking jig down there or something, they're gonna swim down there and say, that is a little bit too much. I don't really want to suck that big old giant jig in there. But this is a quick little snack for me right here, and I'm gonna eat it. And that's why you can catch good limits on it. Now, let's talk a little bit about where you want to fish it, the setups and everything with it. One of the things about this is going to work for both bottom fish and suspended fish. If you have some suspended fish, and I'm not talking about the live scopers, but it would work if you're live scoping. If you got some suspended fish, like where I like to fish for suspended fish are like out off the ends of points and over, ditches and along the side of commercial floating docks and on bridge piers and on wave breaks. You can take that half a beat down and you can swim it, whatever the depth column is. But the way I like to fish it is on the bottom. And most of the time I'm fishing it in probably 10 to 25 foot of water is my favorite depth zone with it. And based upon the time of the year, there's a couple different ways you can do this. Now, if I'm fishing it in the winter time, say December, January, and February, I'm concentrating on vertical structures with it. And all the time I use it on 6-pound tests. I don't use it on anything heavier than 6. 6-pound test line, got my medium action megabass spinning rod, and I'm going to fish vertical banks. I'm going to fish like bluff banks. I'm going to fish steep rocky banks with it and cover that type of water normally in anywhere between 10 to 30 foot of water in the wintertime. In the springtime of the year, this is a great bait for shallow fish because when those fish are up there cruising, like either they're looking for beds or they're bedding or they're garden fry after they just got done spawning from about like March until early May, you can take that half a beat down and you can go back into those spawning coves and just fan cast it down the bank. Same place you'd fish like a wacky rig or Texas rig or anything. Just fish it in anywhere between 2 to 10 foot of water just in those flat spawning coves. In the post-spawn period, this is a really, really good time to fish it on more of like the hard structure breaks. So after those fish get done spawning, I'll get out and I'll throw that thing like on the ends of points. Those fish that are spawning will move back out to the secondary and main lake points. I can catch them on the half a beat down, ledges, drop-offs, anything like that, up until about, the mid part of June. And in the mid part of June, that's when I go to the suspended fishing on it. The docks, the bridge piers, the wave breaks, all that type of stuff is where I'm going to fish it in the summertime. Also on riprap in the summer. I've caught a bunch of bass in the riprap on it, really good that time of year. And in the fall time of the year, one of the big successes I've had on it is fishing it around boat docks. Not swimming it around the edge of boat docks, but like skipping it back up underneath boat docks and fishing it around the corners of docks. Caught a lot of fish doing that. And then again, you can still catch them on points in the fall time of the year. And they got a bunch of different colors, guys. Let me show you the colors I got here. Zoom makes a bunch of different good colors, and I carry a bunch of colors in it because I want to adjust the water clarity and the light conditions. So that's my box right there, but I got a bunch of different colors. But you can't go wrong with any type of natural color. Probably I'd say out of any of them, the green pumpkin and watermelon candy are my two favorites, but I will literally use about every color they have under certain conditions. So anyway, guys, give it a try. The half a beat down here is going to get you a quick limit of bass, quicker than anything out there. Hope it helps out. We'll talk later.